What is up? Welcome to another video. If you're new around here, my name is Dee and I make videos all about motherhood, food and lifestyle. In my recent videos, I have been in my kitchen cooking up a storm. If you want to check out those recipes, I'll link them in the description box below. And in today's video, I am back in my kitchen, but this time around, I'm going to be showing you how I prep my 8-month-old food for the week. Zion is turning 8 months, you guys. Like, where did the time go? He's going to be a year very soon. So he's 8 months old. We're on solids. We started solids at 6 months old, and at 6 months old we also took him to get some blood tests done so that we can figure out what he's allergic to. We had a huge allergic reaction when I offered him cow milk based formula, and he broke out in hives. So we knew then that he was allergic to cow's milk protein. But then we also found out that he's allergic to eggs, wheat, gluten, and nuts. So when I prepare his meals, I have to be mindful of that, obviously. And also when I leave him with his nanny, I have to stress to her, you know, not to give him any of those allergens and whoever I leave him with. So today I'm going to be preparing 3 things. He has solids 3 times a day: for breakfast, lunch, and then his supper. What I do is he eats the same thing every day for a week, and then I change the menu because we're still introducing foods to him. For example, I'm going to be preparing maize meal and chicken livers, and those are 2 foods he's never had before. So sometimes it takes a long time for him to get used to a taste or a smell or a texture. I'm sure he'll take some time to get used to the texture of chicken livers, for example. So I have to keep offering the same food until he accepts it. I've heard that it can take up to 20 instances where you offer your baby something new until they accept it. There are some things he's not very keen on, like quinoa is one of them, and I'm going to be preparing it. But I think it was just the texture, like I said. He just needs to get used to the texture. So first up on the menu is going to be a quinoa porridge. The first time I offered quinoa to him, it was just plain. It was just plain quinoa. I'm going to be using this red and white quinoa blend from Woolworths, and it's going to be a nectarine and yogurt quinoa porridge. I found this, unfortunately I don't have the box for this. When you take it out the box, it's just plain and looks like this. But I found this soya yogurt at Woolworths, and I'm so glad I found it. The tub is quite big, like he won't obviously eat all of this. And once it's open, then I have to finish it. The taste is a different taste. Like, I don't eat soy protein anything, or I don't eat soya product anything. So it's a little bit of a foreign taste to me, but it tastes good, and I'm glad that there are alternatives for people with allergies and plant-based people. Simpiwe is plant-based, kind of vegetarian, so this is great. And then I'm just going to add a nectarine. I've given him nectarine before and it was great. So what I did when I gave him the nectarine, I cut the cheeks of the nectarine. So I'd cut it down, straight down like this, down like that, and give him the cheek with the skin on so that it doesn't slip. And he went to town with it. He loved it. So this is going to be what I'm going to do. I'm going to start by boiling my quinoa. No salt, nothing added, no sugar. Although this does have sugar in it, the yogurt has sugar in it, I'm okay with it because he doesn't eat it every day. And obviously fruit has natural sugar. So that's the first thing we're going to be giving him for the week, is a quinoa porridge. Second thing, so for lunchtime, what I'm going to be giving him is maize meal. Good old pap. So I'm going to be making these balls with spinach. The reason for this is because maize meal is fortified with vitamin A, vitamin B3, B6, B1, B2. So all of these B vitamins, folic acid, mineral salts, and yeah, he is still pretty much on breast milk. And I know, like, breast milk is great, but it lacks, for example, iron, which is what he's going to get from the spinach. I'm just going to put the spinach, not in a blender, but chop it finely, add a little bit of herbs, make it taste good. Still no seasoning. Unfortunately, he's gonna have pop with no seasoning, sorry. But we don't give him salt and we don't give him sugar, unless it's from fruit or sometimes from the yogurt that he eats. And then lastly, I'm going to be doing chicken livers. I love chicken livers and I hope he does too. Don't buy chicken livers from Woolworths, they're expensive. Just buy them from like Pick and Pay. And then I'm going to make some jasmine rice, mix that in there, and add some grated courgette. Now, I have never given him any purity. If you don't know what purity is, it's the store-bought purees that babies eat. Firstly, because I have to read the ingredients list, and then it will say things like this was manufactured in a factory with tree nuts or whatever, and he's allergic to those things. So everything he has eaten has been homemade. I'm going to give myself a pat on the shoulder for that, because I'm the one that's making his food every week. But I don't mind, it really does bring me joy. So he hasn't had purity. Another reason that I haven't given him purity is because it tends to just be soupy and not bland, but smooth. It's good for him to be exposed to different textures, so that he knows that not all foods are smooth. So the rice will add texture to this. Chicken livers, although I'm going to mash them, I'm not going to blend them, and even if I were to blend them, they would still have a grainy texture. And then obviously the grated courgette. So this has been a very long intro. Let us get into the kitchen. Let's start cooking. So you always start with the things that are going to take the longest first. For example, I'm making maize meal. That takes about half an hour to cook, and quinoa also takes a while to cook. And then while that's on the go, like things that you can just put on the stove and basically forget about, you start with those. And then while that's on the go, you start with the other things that are quicker to make. I'm now going to do the spinach and set that aside so that when the maize meal is ready, I can just stir it through and then let it cool, and then I'll create my balls, which are going to go in the freezer so that they don't go off. And during the week while I'm feeding him, all I will do is take one maize meal ball out of the freezer, like maybe the night before, either put it on the counter, but it's a bit hot right now, so you can let it defrost in the fridge. Another thing that I wanted to mention is that I said we are doing baby led weaning, and we're doing a mixed approach to feeding. When he's with his nanny, I let her feed him things like the chicken livers, for example, which are going to be mixed with baby marrow and basmati rice, and maybe the quinoa porridge. Because I'm not around at that point, I am that mom, I'm not around when she is with Zion. And for baby led weaning, you need to be attentive. You cannot leave the child. He's not at an age where I can just leave him and be about my business, and that's what I'm afraid that she would do. And should there be a choking incident, she wouldn't know what to do. So rather safe than sorry. And yeah, that's what I do. When I do baby led weaning, I put him in his high chair and I don't strap him in, but obviously I'm there the whole time just so that should there be a choking incident, I can quickly take him out without freaking him out, because he will know that something is wrong, although he obviously wouldn't know because he would be choking. But I don't want to freak him out, so I would calmly, while I'm dying on the inside, take him out of his chair, give him 5 big blows on his back until whatever is blocking his windpipe comes out, and that's it. So I've got a pan on at the back over here that I'm heating up, and I'm going to add olive oil to it. To my spinach, I'm going to add some garlic, which is great. Gives a lot of flavor and also good for the immune system. And then I'm also going to add some Italian herbs. No salt, just some stuff to add flavor to it. I don't usually make my spinach that way. I usually just add salt and it is what it is. But like I said, I'm modernizing this pumpkin spinach vibe. This is not how I was fed pumpkin spinach when I was growing up, you guys. So Zan has just got that zhuzhed up laugh. Oh, it's so funny. It's so funny. My quinoa, by the way, seems like it is almost ready. No, it needs a little bit of extra water. So it's important to keep an eye on your pots, otherwise they're going to burn. But anyways, I'm going to add a little bit of extra virgin olive oil. If you want to cook with coconut oil, brilliant, do that. We use coconut oil as bum cream, but I haven't considered using it as a cooking oil. Not that there's anything wrong with it, it's just not what we're doing. But I've also considered using coconut oil as a lotion for his skin, because like I said, he's got sensitive skin, he's got a lot of allergies, so he breaks out in eczema every freaking day, and coconut oil, you know, it's got like nothing added to it, and some essential oils. So anyways, back to the food. I'm heating up my oil and I'm going to add half of the onions that I diced earlier. The other half, like I said, is for the chicken livers. So I haven't started on chicken livers yet, but let's talk about them. If you would like to get the better taste of chicken liver out of the chicken livers, I'd suggest that you soak your chicken livers in some milk overnight. But we're not going to do that for Zion. Zion has got cow's milk protein allergy. He's allergic to cow's milk. So the protein that's found in cow's milk, casein and whey, I don't know to what ratio. So I don't know whether he's allergic to whey or to the casein, but majority of the protein in cow's milk is casein. So we're not going to do that. just gonna cook it as it is, with some great herbs and some onions, some garlic, and then we're gonna mush it up, add it to the jasmine rice, grate some courgette in there or baby marrow, and then freeze it. Now I'm using jasmine rice because that's the rice I prefer, but also it is nice and sticky. So if I wanted to feed it to him in a baby led weaning style, I could, just like the buck balls or the maize meal balls, I could roll it into a ball with the chicken livers and the courgette and give it to him like that. That would work great. But if I wanted to also give him chicken livers in baby led weaning style, I can cut them into strips or into pieces that are big enough for him to grasp. He's 8 months old, so he hasn't got the pincer grasp yet. He's still got the palmar grasp, which is gross motor development. Hasn't developed the fine motor skills yet, which is fine. He's a teeny weeny baby. So that's why I would give it to him in a bowl, and that's why I'm going to give the maize meal to him in a bowl. And yeah, I've also seen somebody on Instagram, I forgot who, but I swear she's also on YouTube, do the jasmine rice into sort of like a sandwich, so like a square, and then cut it into a triangle, and then her son eats it like that. But he's a little bit older than Zion, in fact a lot older, like over a year old. But yeah, anyways, got two things that are ready over here. The quinoa is ready. If you look closely, it is sticking to the bottom of the pan, which is fine. That just shows to me that it is the texture that I want. If I push down on it, it's kind of like mushy, not al dente, which is not what I want. But if you want to cook your quinoa al dente, please go ahead. And then my spinach has wilted to basically nothing, as you can see. All that spinach that I had has gone down to nothing. Now I'm going to set both of these aside. I need this pan to do the chicken livers. My pap is not ready yet, and then I'm going to use this pot to make my jasmine rice. Now all of this can seem like a lot of work, and it is. It takes time, especially when you're filming and doing it at the same time, but it really does help get me prepared for the whole week. I do this every Sunday night, by the way, and so that I'm not thinking every morning, oh, what am I going to give Zion for lunch? Breakfast is easy to make because some of the times I do just make oats for him. These are the oats that I get for Zion. They're freaking expensive, okay? This is how many grams is this? This is 500 grams of oats, and it's 50 rand versus the jungle oats that we eat, which is like 30 rand for a kilo. But anyways, obviously I have to get him gluten-free oats. He's allergic to gluten. But like I was saying, it preps me and makes my days a lot easier, knowing that I've got stuff in the freezer that I can just pull out and put in the microwave and feed my child. And also when my nanny comes, I can just say to her, for lunch today you will find Zion's lunch in the freezer, and if there are multiple things in the freezer, then I'll just let her know that today please give him the rice with chicken livers and baby marrow, and it's in an ice tray. Brilliant, isn't it? And this reminds me of when I was prepping for bikini competitions, because I used to meal prep every single Sunday, and I used to have to weigh the food. But this time around, I don't have to weigh anything. I portion the meals by putting them in ice trays, and I will show you that later. So for the bap and spinach, if you want to get really fancy with this, you can add some feta to it, make it cheesy, and then put it in a baking dish, grate some mozzarella or whatever cheese of your choice, and bake it. But we're not going to do that because my child doesn't eat dairy. That's what I would do. I was making this for myself or for people that do eat dairy. So maybe that's what you could do too. It would be so nice. Okay, so I've put the quinoa porridge into the freezer. That should last us a week. What I do is, so you saw that the ice tray had like rows of 3s. I give him, first I offer him milk, a full bottle of milk, about 120 to 150 mils, and he usually finishes that. And then I wait about half an hour to 45 minutes before I give him the solids. A lot of the time he will have most of what I give him, so I will give him 3 blocks of whatever he's having for whatever meal that is. So it will be 3 blocks of the quinoa porridge, and then if he doesn't want to eat it, it is what it is. At least that I know he had his milk, because in the first year of the baby's life, milk, breast milk or formula is what will cover most of their calories. So now I'm going to roll the pup balls into balls or roll the spinach and pup into balls, put it in the freezer bag, and then also pop that into the freezer. And then lastly, I need to grate the baby marrow, mash the liver, and make the jasmine rice. I haven't put the jasmine rice on yet. Okay, change of plan. So because I've got some quinoa left over, I've got quite a bit of quinoa left over. I'm not gonna make the basmati rice because that would be a waste. This quinoa would just sit in the fridge and then just go off. So I'm going to grate my baby marrow, mash my livers, and combine it with the quinoa, put it into a tray, an ice tray, freeze that for him to have during the week. So because I'm doing liver, whatever animal liver that you would choose to do, he's not going to have this every day. He will have it maximum twice a day because it's quite high in vitamin A. We don't want his vitamin A levels to get to a toxicity level or a toxic level. So I need to find something else for him to make. But let's get to grating the baby marrow and combining all of that, and then we can round this video up. It's been a long one, but I've enjoyed it so far. I hope you have. So that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. It's a lot of work prepping meals, but like I said, it really does set you up for success during the week. When Zion is throwing a fit because he is hungry, I just grab stuff out the freezer, put it in the microwave, and feed my baby. So that's it for this week. Remember that the Modern Moms meal plan is still available for purchase. You can check the description box below for that. It is my online course where I give you more than 10 recipes that you can play with and feed your family with. They are less than an hour each, and the cleanup is close to none. So check that out. Make sure you check that out in the description box. Thanks for watching. Thank you for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, click that subscribe button, and remember to put all notifications on so you don't miss anything that I upload. We are close to 20,000 subscribers, and I would like for us to get there before the end of this year. Let's make it happen. I will see you guys in the next video. Cool, bye.